Hello everybody once again, and welcome into the Color Gemstone Academy. I am Paul DC, your instructor, and this is my YouTube channel, Paul DC Gemstones. As always, my goal is to be the biggest free weekly gem classes on YouTube. Now the only way I can get there is if you subscribe. Remember, you hear the word subscribe, don't worry. It doesn't cost you a penny. It's completely free, and I'm glad to do this for you. But the more subscribers I get, the more chances I get to do these things for you. All right, now this is our Q&A series. It is episode 11. These are questions, comments, and answers, and sometimes just compliments, and I appreciate those as well. And I try to answer them for you as quickly and honestly as I can. I can't get to everybody, obviously. But with that said, let's start this week's questions, comments, and requests. Okay, this first one is from Judy F, and this is from episode 53, which is the grossular garnet, a recent episode. And she said, as I've said before, the Savorite garnet is my absolute favorite garnet. Well, Judy, you and I have a lot in common because I've said this for years and years and years. My two favorite, first of all, I think garnet's the most underrated gemstone on planet Earth. But I think if I had to pick two favorites, it would be the Savorite garnet, that beautiful green, sparkly garnet, or the pyrope that looks just like a ruby, indistinguishable from a ruby. But I'm glad you enjoyed those lessons, and we are nearly done with our lessons on our garnet. Okay, this is Amaji S, and this is from Q&A series episode 9 a couple of weeks ago. It says, hi Paul, thank you so much for your show. I've been studying your many, thankfully, educational and extremely enjoyable videos. I'll reserve my amateur questions until I am more insightful, but I have to tell you, I really have enjoyed being at home during this pandemic, accompanied by your wonderful videos. Amaji, thank you so much for the compliments. I do appreciate that, but the one reason I really wanted to get your question on here for everybody is the only inappropriate question, or the only bad question, is one that is not asked and therefore not answered. Don't be afraid to ask any questions whatsoever. Remember, there was a time I knew nothing about gemstones, and talking to people and taking classes and learning is how I ended up becoming an expert on them and writing a couple of books and selling billions of dollars worth of jewelry, gemstones, on various shopping channels around the world. So don't be afraid to ask any questions. You are now qualified to ask any question that you want. Okay? Okay, so the next comment comes from Sala N. I've heard from him a couple of times, so I'm curious what he has to say this time. This is from Q&A series episode 9 as well. It says, hi Paul, started loving your videos from the very beginning. I knew like absolutely nothing about gemstones at the time. My father is a geologist, so he is somehow related to mines and stuff. He actually discovered a garnet mine, because of which he's a member of the GIA, because all of these things he wanted me to learn something about gemstones even after I completed my diploma in business management. I think he's done a great job by finding this channel for me. So he found out through his father. You've made me love gemstones, and now I have a pretty different view about every single gem out there. After a lot of research and a lot of study, I'm actually willing to start off with a polished diamond grader certificate from the IGI, International Gem Institute, and someday I actually want to be a graduate gemologist from there as well. The only reason I'm thinking of doing diamonds and colored gemstones courses separately is to get in-depth knowledge about each of them. Thank you so much for inspiring me. I have to tell you, Sala, hearing that inspires me. And as I said previously, there was a time when I knew nothing at all about gemstones. And I took one simple class when I got my job as a host on a shopping channel. And I said, I better learn something about gems, or I'm not going to be in this business for very long. And the truth is, I went to that class, knowing I needed it, but expecting to be bored, and I was fascinated from the very first day. It's become a love interest of me. I've traveled all over the world, visited gem mines, so I'm very excited for you. I think you're doing the right thing. Even when I was taking classes with the Gemological Institute of America, we did diamonds and colored gemstones separately because they're actually evaluated in two completely different ways. Remember, diamonds are evaluated on absence of color. colored gemstones, the most important thing about it is color. So I think you're doing the right thing. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Start with the diamonds and then get into your colored gem courses. And do me a favor and thank your dad for me for introducing you to my channel. I take that as a great compliment. I hope that answers your question, and thank you so much. Okay, I'm chuckling at this next one. This next one is from Glenna O. She's from Florida, and she is not only a big fan of this channel, she also likes to watch cooking videos that Judy and I do on her Facebook page and on her YouTube page. So if you ever want to watch on Sunday at noon Eastern time, the Sunday Fun Day with Paul and Judy, you'll get to meet my wife Judy, and we have a lot of fun. It's just kind of a light-hearted thing we do at noon on her, I'll put it up on the screen. Her Facebook page is Judy Crowell Style, and I'll show you how to spell that. But Glenna is known for some great questions, and this will probably finish off this lesson because I have a long-winded answer to this one as well. She said, another great lesson on gems. She was watching the one, episode 52, Androdite Garnet. Says, another great lesson on gems. I would love to know places to pan for gemstones in the U.S. An extra bonus question, what has been the greatest find by somebody panning for gems? Glenna, again, you do really have really great and insightful questions. As far as panning, or I would even call it sifting or sieving for gems, there are certain mine areas all around the United States that will allow you to either go into the tailings and look for, tailings are basically when they're moving all this earth to look for a vein of turquoise or opals, doesn't matter what gem it is. They are piling that in a big pile, and they call that the tailings. And then when you go to, when they're mining, it's like I said with the turquoise of Kingman. When they're mining for it, once they hit the vein, everything stops. You're pickaxing, picking up big pieces and dropping in a bucket. They don't worry about the little pieces. So many of these mines of various types all around the United States, for a small fee, will let you have that mining experience. And I think it's worth your time to do it. First of all, to see how difficult it is to find these things. And I have a short list, but again, I talk too much about all of them. And I'll go through the short list, and maybe it'll give you some ideas of where you could do this and look for gems in the United States. One of the more famous one is called the Emerald Hollow Mine, which is in Hiddenite, North Carolina. Of course, they find a lot of emeralds, but there are other gemstones that you can find in there as well. I don't know what the fee is. This is just something you can probably look up. I'll put the names of each of these places up there. With COVID being what it is, I don't know how many of them are still operating or how many might be temporarily closed. The next one is actually a national park, and it is Crater of Diamonds State Park in Murfreesboro, Arkansas. I remember when I took that very first class in gems that I talk about sometimes at the University of South Florida by the first female gemologist ever in the GIA. And she talked specifically about this, and one of the secrets, if you're going to go to that diamond mine in Arkansas, and that is you wait till, well, the sun's kind of setting right now where I'm having my show. When you see right about sunset and you lie flat on your belly and you look over the dirt, you might see things sparkling. It's kind of like if you've ever had something on your rug that you dropped and you can't, or the floor, and you can't see it until you get right down on the floor and shine a flashlight, and then you see, oh yeah, there's that glass that I broke, and little shards of glass. So that's a little hint for that. Oh, by the way, for your bonus answer, Glenna, what has been the greatest find by somebody panning for gems? I would probably say from that Arkansas diamond mine, there's a gentleman, I don't remember his name, it was in one of my lessons, but he discovered a canary diamond, and I think he sold it for in excess of $100,000 or $180,000. Or at least that's the value that was put on it at auction. But yeah, that was a big find at that particular location. But let me tell you about some others. There's Gem Mountain, which is Spruce Pine, North Carolina. They find aquamarine there, some garnets there. Actually, the first rhodolite garnet ever, I believe, was discovered in North Carolina. But known for the emerald. I think the largest emerald ever was discovered in North Carolina as well. And that's the Gem Mountain Spruce Mine. The Cherokee Ruby and Sapphire Mine, Franklin, North Carolina. So rubies, sapphires, you can find some others. I think rutile has been found in there, is rutilated quartz, I should say. So that would be a good place for that one. Gem Mountain Sapphire Mine. And those of you that watch Tom Elliott in some of my question answer series in the past, he had a big time with those mines out in Montana with the Montana Sapphire. And you can find quite a bit. And they, again, you pay a fee to do this. You can't just wander on anybody's land and start looking for sapphires if they've staked a claim. But a lot of them have ways that you can participate. As I said, either going through the tailings or having a gem day experience. Maybe it's $100 or $200 a day. I don't know. It depends on the people, the mine and the people. But that would be in Phillipsburg, Montana. And then there's the Moorfield Mine in Amelia, Virginia. And they're quite known for having a lot of Amazonite. Some say Amazonite. I say Amazonite. That's that beautiful greenish stone that has no tie whatsoever to the Amazon River, but I don't know how it got the name Amazonite. But anyway, there's other stones that you can find there, but it's really known for the Amazonite. Rainbow Ridge Opal Mine in Virgin Valley, Nevada. And I haven't been to this particular mine, but I highly recommend you go visit that. That or the one next to it is Bonanza Opal Mine in Denio, Nevada. I did go to the Bonanza Opal Mine with Judy, and we did, and actually you'll see pictures of that in my opal book. And they offer seasonally an experience where you can, and I think you get there's different levels. Like if you just want to go through the tailings, that's going to be one price. If you want to just kind of go and pick through things with an expert and have them evaluate them, it might be a little bit more. But it's an incredible story. If you can get out there to Nevada, Virgin Valley, they have some black opals that are absolutely spectacular, and I highly recommend that experience. Where we go? Oh, Crystal Grove Diamond Mine, St. Johnsville, New York. Now, when they say that, they're really talking about Herkimer diamonds, which aren't diamonds at all. They're doubly terminated quartz. That's in Herkimer County, New York. If you get a chance to go, if they, again, I don't know who's doing these still or who is not, but if you could go on that experience and learn a little bit more about Herkimer diamonds, which are actually quartz, it'd be worth your while. The last one I'm going to talk about, I know is now closed to the public, and that is the Royston Mine. And the Royston Mine, to me, was incredibly fascinating in Nevada, Tonopah, Nevada. And they used to offer allowing people to do a turquoise experience and go in their tailing. Again, that's where they use the blasting, and they'd have a bunch of opportunities for you to find some pretty good pieces of turquoise. And you could pick one out, and they might even polish it for you. But I don't think they're doing that anymore. Whether they plan to do it in the future or not, I do not know. Well, I think the wind is kicking up right now. I've probably gone over my time anyway, and it blew this little thing that I keep the glare down with. Anyway, thanks again for watching our question and answer series. This was episode 11. And I'll see you all next Saturday for another. Once again, if you have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it really does help me out. I will see you again next week on our next lesson. Thanks for watching, everybody.